Commissioners, the meeting is live.
Call this November 18th meeting of the Riley County Commission to order. Please everybody join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everybody, and
Morning.
damp and rainy day. This will start off with some public comments this morning, and I know we've got several, it looks like, so.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Gary Olds. I live at 3308 Frontier Circle. I have two issues that I want to bring before you and kind of it's circulated later, I suppose. Rich, I have the document that I wasn't able to send to you, and I just give it to you as a matter of reference. There was an issue that came up on a coma, alleged coma violation in Crawford County. And I'm not here to point fingers, don't get me wrong. I'm just sharing that information with you to make sure that, I guess you could say, the letter of coma is followed with regards to executive session. Attached to what I gave you, Rich, is also, even though I know you don't care about Junction City, just kidding you, is evidently they got a little bit of hot water, and so their attorney has come up with a matrix and come up with a wording with regards to executive session. The point being, for those that are listening, evidently coma requires some specific language with regards to when you go into executive session, whatever purpose it is. And oftentimes commissions, they will just do general things, which evidently are in a violation or alleged violation of the coma reference regarding the specifics that the citizens need to know about. I guess to what degree you're allowed to tell them about regarding confidential matters. Excuse me, I'm not sure it's the rainy day. It might be the old age. Secondly, I just want to show you, as you got yours, the real estate taxes came out. And you might fall out of your chair when I say I'm pleased to see that my taxes for the county only went up by $50. So thank you very much for doing your due diligence to try to keep things a little more reasonable in a big picture for Riley County. And I do want to point out, as everyone knows, 20% of that $50 increase goes to RCPD. I was calculating the other day for my wife and I for 2023, I believe it was, get to pay $1,100 out of our property taxes for just law enforcement. That's pretty high in my opinion, but I don't have any data to back that up. That may be typical in Shawnee County and the city of Topeka for those that live there, or other cities like Salina and Saline County. But thank you very much for doing what you can to try to keep property taxes a little more reasonable, because as you know, it seems to be a topic of conversation among citizens, particularly now that they have their tax bill in hand, whereas my city tax bill went up by $248.
Yeah.
And in conclusion, I just want to say, ouch.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I hate the fact those tax statements come out around the holidays.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Shannon. I'm the REACH Chair, and I'm here today to award the Employee of the Month for December. This nomination came in from a coworker with them. And I said that Michael has been working with the Riley County Community Corrections for 2 years and has been a wonderful asset to the office. He always offers to help with anything another coworker needs. He has worked very hard to become knowledgeable about the juvenile system, so much so that any coworker can go to him to ask questions. He volunteers to take anyone's on-call day if they are going on vacation. He volunteers to cover drug testing hours. He will adjust his hours when it benefits the department and is always there when you need him. He is kind, considerate, and always up for a good laugh. He has brightened our office, and we are very lucky to have him. Michael, could you please come up? I'd like to award you Employee of the Month.
Surprise. Yeah, that's how we have to do it most of the time.
I was trying to hide.
You're good.
All right, and 1, 2, 3. Big smile. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Thank you.
Can I do one more?
I'm right behind you. Sorry. Thank you.
Congratulations, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Thank
have a
you.
Good week. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Good morning, Evan McMillan, Public Works. Just a reminder, transfer station will close this Thursday, Thanksgiving.
Next Thursday.
Yes, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, we'll close off public comment and we'll move on to commissioner comments this morning. Commissioner McKinley.
All right, well, Thursday afternoon was the NBAF Community Liaison Group meeting. And Jason Smith is the new chair of the group. ESL 1 and 2 labs are operational, but they're still finalizing stuff in 3 and 4 labs. Currently they have 300 employees, but the final number is expected to be 425. And then also all of the programs at Plum Island have to be operational here for dual running before they can start shutting down those areas at Plum Island. And they had introductions and presentations from several different divisions that were working in there and keep getting new people every week, I think, coming in there. Yeah. After that meeting, I went over to Bramlage for the K-State basketball games. The women showed why they are a top 10 team. They're a deep team, and those 2 transfers they got at Lilly.
Oh, yeah.
I thought we had a lot of good people coming back, but those 2 transfers really fit in. They're really looking like a team. The men's game was a disappointment. They have work to do if they're going to compete in the Big 12. And then Saturday evening football game, about the same results. What I hope is the low point of the season, but I'm not convinced. And that's all I got.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody won the pool, right?
No one in this town.
Well, I don't have a lot. I caught up on a lot of things on Thursday afternoon and Friday, and checked my emails and things going on here. And Saturday, I too went to the football game. Up where I sit, there's a lot of coaches. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Chelsea.
Are you sure they were coaching?
Oh, there was a lot of yelling going on.
Okay.
I don't know if the team heard
Smoldering.
it, but very disappointing. So hopefully we have a better Saturday this week. So that's all I've got.
As for me, I'm just trying to get back going again after a rough couple of weeks. But Thursday afternoon, I had my monthly Teams call with NACO's Veterans and Military Services Committee. After some opening remarks from our chair, Sid Conklin, presiding commissioner in Randolph County, Missouri. Had a lengthy and very in-depth update from Capitol Hill with Michael Matthews, our legislative director. Between elections, Congress coming back into session for the lame duck. Just mostly talking military type affairs with the not still being passed yet, being one of the major pieces of legislation, so needs to be passed by the end of the year. Lots of discussion on that. Then we heard from our guest speaker, Frank Larkin. He's from the Troops First Foundation and discussed the Operations Warrior Call and everything that's gone into it, followed up by a general wrap up and discussion with the chair, Sid Conklin. Thursday night, I too attended both the men's and the women's basketball game. Quite the contrast and there. The women looked legit. they literally look legit. I know South Carolina's had like a 3-year undefeated run or something crazy like that, but this team's got the depth, they've got the wing play. I don't even think Ioka's really playing 100% just yet either, so they could even get better, quite honestly. They looked really good, and Creighton's a pretty good team. They're an NCAA team, so the men, however, yeah. I guess when you have to start completely over with all but one actual player, it's going to take some time to figure it out, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. So we'll see how that works out. But thanks for the friend who supplied the tickets to me. Did have fun while we were there. So yeah. So Friday morning, I met with Riley County Planning Director Amanda Webb to discuss a few items, including some thoughts on the Rural Economic Development Committee, comprehensive planning, and continuing discussions that are going on with strategic planning and short-term rentals, just to name a few. Had a really good dialogue, and I think some good things will come from that moving forward. Just wanted to mention too that Friday, No Stones Unturned had their official ribbon cutting and grand opening out at their new facility off of Highway 24. Didn't get a chance to attend, but did catch some pictures and some stuff later. Very well attended. Coach Snyder was there amongst other dignitaries. Really good to see that facility up and running. They did an amazing job planning, developing, and putting that facility together. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, I urge you to. It's incredible, just to say the least. Also want to congratulate Manhattan High for beating Wichita Northwest for the second time this year. 49-28 in the sectional round of the playoffs to run their record to a perfect 11-0. Up comes next was what I'm calling the de facto state championship game with #1 Derby. Will be in Wichita Friday night. So winner of that will play, I think, either Blue Valley Northwest or Gardner Edgerton for the state championship. So we'll try. That's all I can say on that. Saturday was supposed to go to the K-State football game. For the second time in 3 tries, we've had troubles trying to get tickets through the digital process, and I'm really frustrated with that. And I think I'm at a point where I'm just going to quit going to athletic events altogether because of it. It's just ridiculous, to be quite honest with you. But maybe that was for the best, considering. I watched all the way up to about midway through the 3rd quarter, and I gave up. So. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect at this point in time. Cincinnati isn't exactly a whip at this point in time either. And then that game in Ames looms pretty large at this point. And I don't know.
Pretty good quarterback.
They do. They got a pretty good defense too.
Yeah,
and they can stop the run. If they stop our run, I don't know if there's much confidence in anything else at this point in time. So hopefully they have a pretty busy week of practice and get some things figured out. So spent the rest of the weekend at home, just catching up on stuff from the last couple of weeks and trying to get prepared. So that's all I got.
Ready for business, commissioners? First item I have is change order number 2, final with Hebert Construction Inc. for parallel road culvert replacement in the amount of -$80, a reduction 45 foundation stabilization, 35 for water and grading. That was not needed for completion. Adjusted contract price $296, $272.92. Was
For $80.
Yeah, for $80.
got our $80 worth out of it.
I guess you did. Thank you for that one, Evan.
Well, I would make a motion to approve the change order in the amount of $80.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the change order in the amount of $80. All in favor?
Aye.
Sure, please sign. Thank you. Next, I need the board to sign, the chair to sign notice to the Township Board Cereal Malt Beverage License, Darris Fast Lane, 5321 Tuttle Creek Boulevard, and 1132 Pillsbury Drive.
I move to sign the notice of the township boards for cereal malt beverage licenses. Darris Fast Lane, 521 Tuttle Creek Boulevard, and 1132 Pillsbury.
I would second that.
It's been moved and approved to sign the notice to the township boards, cereal malt beverage license, Darris Fast Lane, 5221 Tuttle Creek Boulevard and 1132 Pillsbury Drive. Favor?
Aye.
Chair, please sign. Thank you. Next, Commissioner of Raleigh County Personnel Action Forms, Kenton LaFleur, volunteer firefighter, fire district. Number one, separation of service, Samuel Switzer, facility and ground technician. One, Public Works Department, separation of service. Riker Nelson, Parks Seasonal, Public Works Parks Department, separation of service, and then Cody Smith, Rehart, EMT. All three, please sign. Mhm. Yeah, final abstracts. Thank you. And Commissioner, this last one I need to sign is the abstract of votes for the 2024 general election. You guys have already made the motion, just need all of your signatures. Thanks, Evan.
Thank you.
I get a copy of this one.
Get each of you a copy.
Switch. Yeah, no, one's switched. I had to-
Just to see if we're paying attention.
Yeah, I guess so. Oops. Now I had to go back and check the rest of them.
Let's see if you, yeah.
I got it.
Senate race in Leavenworth County, part of Wyandotte, 31 votes.
I had heard something about that one. Someone brought that to my attention last week. I wasn't even aware.
31 votes.
Only
out of-
31?
Out of, I don't know how many thousand votes.
Really?
The Senate race over there. right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Heard that too.
You.
So you
Commissioners?
didn't have a candidate that actually got more votes.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Any changes to the minutes, commissioners?
34. I would make a motion to approve the November 14th minutes of the Board of Riley County Commissioners.
Second,
So moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the, what was that again?
November 14th.
November 14th meeting of the Riley County Commission is written. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Of the tentative agendas, look, commissioners,
A little long.
we can change that. We can cancel the days.
Okay, let's do that.
Just makes the next ones even
Yeah,
longer.
especially when we're gonna miss a Thursday for Thanksgiving, it's just gonna compound.
And then Christmas and
On the
Christmas.
25th, I'm having evaluations.
When are you having evaluations? I'm sorry.
On the 25th, is that right? I thought
Yeah, there's 2
It's-
dates and
it doesn't show on
Yeah, I didn't see
okay.
that.
the agenda, it didn't show.
gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what I
I
kind
was
of
looking for
wondered if I
those.
had the wrong date.
But we shouldn't have to go full all one, at least one of those days all the way to 4:30. We're not gonna be doing like 3 of them, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's right that you may not have to go the whole day. It's not necessarily correct that you won't do 3. I don't, we have to talk about that of how you want to do it. So there's 2 new department heads,
Right.
right? And the opportunity to discuss with them, to sit down and say, hey, here's what we have a vision for Riley County, here's what we want you to achieve over the next year, is still there as a performance. You wouldn't have to do obviously a performance evaluation because they haven't been in place for a year. So it's an opportunity, the only opportunity you really have to sit down, the 3 of you, and explain, what you'd like to achieve as department head.
So there's only 2 of them, is there?
Well, there's 3. I mean, we've got a new health department director coming in, so obviously we're
Yeah.
gonna do that one. County counselor's office is in transition, so we're probably not doing that one. And then,
You're not doing the county council?
well, he's gonna be gone.
Okay, well, I mean, you have the new person
Right.
for over 6 months. I just assumed you would want to do it. with
But
a
not
new
in that
person.
position,
Correct.
right?
Yeah. So I mean, I don't
Right.
know that. I haven't heard that from you all.
Okay.
If you don't want to do it, it's your purview. I think that it's an opportunity to talk to them and explain what it is you'd like to have as the 3 of you, but he's not required. None of them are required.
So you're talking about the health department?
I feel like I can have that conversation separately without any issue.
Yeah, you can, but all 3 of you
Right.
can't, right?
And so
So,
can we,
yeah, so
even
well,
if it's
each
separate.
individual person can, yeah, but the point is, if you want to talk to the person in executive session, explain what it is you want from them for the next year, this is an opportunity. We have them scheduled for 20 minutes. Might be too long, might not.
20 minutes, and that's it. What time does that start?
They're all afternoon right now. I still have one outstanding person to schedule, and then whether, if you want to put these new people on or off, that's what I need to know.
So to clarify one item, does 2 or more of the board wish to do an evaluation meeting with Mr. Bryant or not? We need direction on that.
Don't need to
Greg or Patrick?
follow the yearly process next year.
I know everyone's always leaping for joy to have more.
Well, I
executive
mean,
session.
not technically in the position just yet, so.
Right, it would be a forward looking, so.
We could, if we want to discuss it all together with Brian, same thing with the health director. I didn't want even to have any time.
In my opinion, it's an opportunity, but it's not a requirement.
I'll have plenty of opportunity to talk about it later.
Just need one more vote, one way or the other.
Yeah. that-
Fine, I think we ought to talk to the health department.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay,
There's a new one from them.
So just one.
So the health department director,
Yeah.
yes. Brian, counselor's office, no. And who was the third you were referring to?
Well, community corrections technically, I mean,
So
She's been in
She was
position
interim.
for most. of
but
the-
she hasn't actually been in the position itself for a full 6 months.
But she's been acting director. I guess I
Yeah.
said she would be in. She's been acting director for a period of time, but you all
Yeah,
can make that
I think
decision.
so, because when did she,
She's been acting director since spring.
But that was April to-
well, she's been there most of the year, she's been not
In-
officially in a position acting, so.
I'm sorry, I didn't even think of it, so I guess I just. So yes on community corrections, yes on health department, no on counselor.
Yeah.
So I still have just one then to schedule, and then I'll get you the finalized agenda.
any items for next week's press conference, commissioners? Not yet, Brittany Phillips on discussion of opioid funds. At 9 o'clock.
We see you should run it already.
Oh, I know. I do. It's kind of a double-edged sword having, the attorney, and I'm like, ooh, another executive session.
Okay.
We have to go in and out of executive session for every one of those evaluations.
You do.
Stay one for the.
Nope, cannot. Just exactly what Mr. Olds was discussing. Certain requirements,
Yep.
can't do a group or multiple employees, only
No.
one individual.
All right.
We're,
Well, I've noticed in going to other groups that.
Yeah.
Follow the rules.
Yeah. Clancy's always been a stickler for following the law.
and that does not change. Right?
Hey, ladies, do it.
We take a very
Good.
conservative
And
approach
David,
to homeowner.
Good.
Well,
And
yeah,
the city of Riley,
it's a good thing.
they don't do all of it, they do the job, but the school board up there says, let's put a different extension up there.
Oh, my gosh.
Basically, that's about all.
Yeah.
When they get executive session, they go, and they come back and they go again. And they're
Yeah, the last one.
It's easy to spend a lot of time in executive session.
Yeah, I didn't, yeah.
Which. One question, but
Yeah, I
a lot of it's with the principal, superintendent, well, everything. Discussion superintendent. Executive session, but it is up to.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, hopefully they wouldn't have that much stuff going on.
Yeah.
Because if they do, that's a problem. So. We're, I think we try. What's that?
No, I mean, I didn't. You know, if there's stuff.
Good deal. You need a minute?
Evaluation, good exit interview.
Yeah, there you go. That's forward thinking.
There you go.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brittany Phillips, Budget and Finance Officer, here to just really give you an update on the opioid funds that we currently have. So we've had these for about 3 years now, and we'll be continuing to get them over the next 16 years. Currently, we have a fund balance of $248,577. There is no timeline on spending these funds. They will check in if we haven't been spending money and just ask us like what our plans are. But currently, they do not have a timeline on when you have to be spending all the money, so that's always good. And then I have also updated in here the list of allowable expenses and unallowable expenses. They recently updated them, I believe in July or August. And so it's really more of a deeper dive than what we had before. They really just had like 5 pages originally, now it's like 30 of just allowable uses. So providing treatment, support, education. Currently, we use these funds to fill our community health educator position, and she handles a lot of those roles for us. It is a part-time position. So she does do education within Riley County. We partnered with the city of Manhattan with that as well. Any questions on these ones?
So how much did you say that we have?
We have $248,577.
Okay. It says in 24, we've received 138, so apparently it's carryover from
Yeah,
previous year.
Yeah.
Okay.
and we started that community health educator program last year,
Mhm.
after the OD2A grant had expired. That's what it was, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And they've approved to fill that for the next, for 2025
Yes.
as well.
Yeah. Mhm.
So is that the only expense we have out of there or
Currently,
at
yes.
this point?
Mhm. Yeah, we just, we transfer that money out of opioid into the health department, fund, and then use that to pay for her salary, marketing expenditures, any materials that she needs for education purposes, other items like that.
Is someone planning on what to do with the rest of the money?
We've talked about it, and I know it's kind of.
Corrections could use some, I think.
Yes, yeah, community corrections also had separate funds that they got from Kansas, like the Sunflower Foundation. And so they got $200,000 and they just finished spending that. And so now, yes, would be another great time for them to utilize these
As I
funds.
start use of that.
Commissioner Shamika and Jenny both have, they have some ideas for a curriculum that they'd like to purchase. They also have some curriculum or some ideas for, I want to say it wrong, the safe medicine boxes, storage boxes. They haven't come to proposal for you yet, but they do have some ideas that.
Okay, good.
I think there
I
might
don't
be.
want to throw away the money, but I don't want it just sitting there
Yeah.
either.
Well, I mean, another thought too is, I mean, when do we start thinking about this position more of a full-time role? Because it's obvious that we're gonna probably get to that point at some point.
That's a good timely discussion because we have not opened the 2020. Jenny's actually in the grant funded position. We haven't opened the secondary position. We were going to open it internally for part-time hours. And have not done so yet. It would start the 21st of December by what you've already approved. So if you want to expand those hours.
I just need to know that there's a need to do so and that we can facilitate that.
Yeah.
If I may, I know that you had mentioned that before about the full-time, and we talked with HR in depth, and then the decision was to move it from 20 hours where it currently is until 2025. It'll be 30 hours, so we can assess
Okay.
that.
gotcha.
So it is
Okay.
going up for
Okay.
2025 for us to use that assessment period to see where we're at
Okay,
then.
I wasn't aware of that. part.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, okay. I like that.
And then that will, just to keep it in mind, will encumber benefits.
Right,
costs as well.
right.
We
Yeah.
haven't had that.
But it looks like we have enough to cover that and
Yeah, just-
everything else along with it, so that's fine.
Which was approved in the budget
Right.
process. I mean, we had those conversations.
It's in July.
Yeah.
It's in July,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think we'll also need to get some sort of commitment, short and semi-long term with the city on how much they want to continue or initially Ron Fear was very supportive. We need to assess that with the new administration to help us budget. You know, for the outgoing years, like say you don't want it just sitting there, but you don't want to waste it, but then at the same time. If for whatever reason they would decide not to, we would still need to have enough funds in there to do it ourselves, and so I think it's gonna be a fine line balancing act.
Okay.
I think another department that could potentially use some would be county attorneys, drug
Yeah.
court and stuff. And so I think there's plenty of places to spend it, but if we're gonna have a full-time position, we gotta be sure
Yeah.
not to
Not
give it all out somewhere
Right.
else. And then all of a sudden, we don't have a partner to help fund the position.
We need to come up with a priority then of,
Yeah.
So we'll contact the city, Brittany, if you would, and, you know, see how they feel about continuing to fund that and remind me, and I'll call the new city manager, because I'd had that conversation with Ron Fear.
Well, it's earmarked just for this particular purpose, so. Right,
Yeah.
even for the city, so.
Yeah, but we can't
I,
commit them to
Yeah.
funding a position that's ours,
Right.
unfortunately.
You said it's 104,000 a year for the next few years. Is that just, it's not?
Yeah, he
Yes.
didn't, when I talked to Chris, he didn't really give us an exact breakdown of how that's gonna look, so he estimated over the next few years, and then it's gonna start decreasing as we continue through the next 16.
it's actually from a federal lawsuit that's actually
Mhm.
working its way down through the state, so,
Mhm.
you know, you've
Mhm.
got all levels of government working.
But
on
I'm
this
saying it's gonna start
particular-
tapering down. It might be good to
Mhm.
save some to cover those out years.
Yeah, good point. Okay,
Maybe full interest on top of it.
yeah, I don't know if you can reinvest that or not.
Yeah, that I'm not sure of.
There's very few funds that through statute are that we're allowed to transfer interest to.
That's. It's interesting, the examples of unallowable things on there.
Yeah.
Most of those you would think would be no brainers,
Campaign contributions, really? They
yeah,
have to
non-abatement
tell people.
activities, yeah.
It's not
Duh,
black and white, though.
Yeah.
Somebody will do it.
here's your sign.
Any other questions about opioids? Okay. Thank you, commissioners.
Thanks, Brittany. Next commissioner, I have David Adams at 9:15. Got a little while, David.
Yep, thank you. What did you want, how it was?
Don, how you doing?
I'm wet.
It's a good thing. I'm glad you're wet.
I didn't put my hair much up, so I didn't find the umbrella in the truck.
Good, good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd be
that's the one
concerned
who's
with your look.
I think I own 5 umbrellas, I don't have a single one I'm working today.
I don't
That
know.
doesn't surprise me,
It
David.
doesn't surprise me a bit.
I don't own one umbrella.
I don't either. Well, I do, but it's broke, so
Yeah, so I have
Think
a
of it
great
as you will.
coat.
I guess I just need to throw it away.
A hood over
I
mine.
just glanced like that an inch this morning. Looked like.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You got more than me.
Really?
I'll have to put that.
I come down in 2 good spurts
I had
overnight.
0.31.
I'll have to.
I didn't hear.
I had an inch from
I actually slept well last night. You should
Oh.
have had here.
whatever rain we got when I was gone. I had almost an inch there.
Yeah, we had good rain.
I was looking at the drought maps and we're not so much in drought anymore. The whole
Need it.
state, I mean.
We need it though.
Yeah.
Creeks still aren't running, typically run out in the country if you get out of the city limits.
No, I need enough to fill up everything, so it'll be good when spring comes back.
So that app, is that the virtual rain gauge? Or do you know, there's a bunch of rain.
I was down looking at it on Friday.
So these
No.
rain sounds.
So it says it's raindrop, right?
Although the person.
You need almost more rain up north to flow into that, because that's where it comes from, rather than just on top of. Of course, we don't want that 8-inch rain over 12 hours or anything, you know, that doesn't work real well either.
That's what I was talking about.
Rain and
The
snow,
Smith
let's
looked
say.
at it and he said, you know, I always get more worried when. I
Virtual
can't
rain
see
totals and
all
rain
that.
trackers.
Yeah.
What's your icon look like? It's a little drop? Like.
Mhm, yep, just like that one. Son put it on there. It's a raindrop app right there. Put in your address or multiple addresses, and sometimes it's accurate, sometimes not quite as accurate. You know, if you can't get the rain gauge and it tells you how much rain you got, sometimes it's amazingly accurate.
Well, that's what there's. Some weather group has one right across the street at the fire station. That it used to be on a free app, free thing, and now it's a charge.
I don't know how it gets it at my place though. There's not like anyone has a rain gauge out there, but it's Very accurate. Oh, really? Time, yeah.
Wants an Apple password.
Sometimes.
I'll do it later.
Right.
Yeah.
Password?
Yeah, once to get into that app thing, you gotta have an Apple password and I don't know, I haven't written down. I've got too many passwords.
I'm afraid I do too. I have it written down in a secure file.
Me too.
And if I lose that file, then I'm gonna be resetting passwords for the next 2 weeks.
Seen from some of your guys and some of the locations around the county and stuff, you know?
Mine's just
For a workout.
notes in a pile. I keep saying I need to type them all up, but
See if maybe what road or bridge is gonna cause you problems at certain locations. Cause it does it for snow as well, John.
Okay.
oh, I
How many tracks that?
I don't know, but like I said, I've been checking it against my rain gauge and
Right.
majority of the time it's accurate. There's been a time or two where it's been off.
I've got one on the west side of the house, one south. It could be a tent off.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Depending on the wind.
Right now, because it's muddy out there now.
Okay, I've got one up by the house, it's one of those, it's just about this big around, I got one out in the garden. Big one.
That's why I got a big one out in the garden where there's no trees around. It's about the biggest open space I have.
It's what I'm closer to the house, it's away from the house, but it's still. They're never the same, they're selling the same, not a lot, but they're selling the same. I figure I just average it.
There you go.
That's what this is.
I just got the one because the rest of our house, you have too many trees around and stuff.
Yeah, we'll do it. Okay, we'll do it.
But I thought for like public works, certain staff, it'd be pretty neat. Have to have work related. And it's free.
That's the best part. Can't install. You can't? Or the Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi, every time I try to use Wi-Fi here, it's screwed up with the work. Pouring down right now.
I'd take a good 5 inches out of my place.
Yeah, you want it over several days though, right? You don't want it all at
No,
once.
I'll take it running. Just get my
Okay.
creek running. I'll feel a lot better.
Okay.
Saturday, we had a little, like a 10-minute shower.
Yeah, I
in the middle of the
know.
afternoon.
We were working outside.
Oh, right.
Here, Blake was frantically trying to get the last coat of paint on the soffit. You know, we painted the whole house, but the soffit where you can't, go up and cutting in stuff. And I was doing the front porch. You got the big cedar post, to put the boiled linseed oil on those. So I was sanding that and I got one coat on and he got all the painting done. So we delivered all the tile there yesterday, so he'll start on that. Tile floors and tile shower. I'll work on installing doors.
Story, really.
Thank God, it's the only way to survive.
Well, my toes are cold. So, guess I don't have a full shoe on one.
Get your boot on.
Yeah,
Following doctor's orders.
it's getting better.
Go ahead, David.
Morning, Commissioners. David Adams, CMS Director with my November monthly updates. Starting off with call for service in October, we had 472, which is a pretty pretty consistent month. I'll tell you, over the last few days, the CT scanner at Via Christi is down, so we're taking, anybody who needs the CT from the ER or the hospital, we have to take them over to Building G over at 1133 College.
Oh,
So our numbers next month are gonna be.
oh, making a lot of short runs.
I think they did 15 yesterday.
And we have to put another
Yeah.
deal in there that says hospital.
Yeah.
Followed by your presentation of needing more staff.
Right. But, really nothing out of the ordinary as far as the breakdown by stations, with station one being 168, station two at 11 foot points, 130. TCB station 69, 68 at the airport, and then Leonardville with 31. So nothing out of the ordinary there. New hires full-time and PRN are scheduled to start the new hire orientation tomorrow. I think I'm not sure they'll get started tomorrow, but we're trying. We had a little hiccup on our end, on our department's end, so I don't know, we'll see. So it's not building codes, it's, what they do for just different departments, it's, throughout the years. This is the first audit we've ever had for our department. So it has been completed, so it can go, if you aren't acceptable in the first round, you go through some training, then you go again, you go up to 3 times. It's closed after the first time with us. I'm just waiting for the documentation to it, but what they did tell us was we had an 11% rate where they kicked them back for more information or something to that regard. Out of like 45, I think they had 4. So that's within their acceptable realm. So not going forward for any mandatory education and then for a second round or anything. So once I get that information, it really explains it, then I'll get that to you. But I'm happy with it. What they've told us up to this point is it was due to the signatures of our patients. Anytime we transport a patient, you need 3 signatures. The crew member needs to sign that they transported the patient needs to sign, and then the nurse you're delivering the patient to needs to sign on our run reports. And ours were all tied to our patient signatures. Either the patient wasn't able to sign and our crews didn't collect the right drop-down menu, or they, something, or we had one where the patient couldn't sign. And the crew member, instead of timestamping it right at that moment at the hospital, they timestamped it 17 minutes later when they were back at the station writing the report. And that got kicked out because it should have been timestamped at the time of dropping the patient off at the hospital. So we appeal those, our billing company appeals those, and they're accepted, but they said that's not acceptable. That's not what they're after. So it didn't have to do with documentation. It didn't have to do with what we're doing for our patients. It had to do with the patient signature and the drop-down boxes. So education to our staff and this, like I said, as soon as we get the documentation that kind of really explains it, I'll get that to you. Working on new building construction related topics. And then I've seen the packet, you've got the 4 weekly updates from the construction company. We are still meeting every other week. I think we're gonna slow that down for the holidays over the next month. Instead of meeting every other week, we're gonna I think we meet next time in early December, I believe is when it was. So, but they're right on target, right on task. All the walls are up. They're gonna start, the HVAC is up in the admin side. So everything's hanging from the ceilings, and I believe they're gonna start sheetrocking over on the admin side. So. Yeah, staff are working on their annual employee evaluations. We had some crew members, some staff and supervisors who did some training with the staff at the Museum of Art and Light. They'd asked us to come out and kind of help them understand what happens if they call 911. So, and then what we want, we want somebody to meet us at the door to show us, to take us to where the patients are and what kind of questions that they might need to be prepared for dispatch to ask them. So, so we always appreciate that opportunity. So. Last Thursday, we had our annual state inspection. I was out of town, but
what I've been told, and again, when I get the letter, I'll get it to you, is that we had no difficulty, there was no deficiencies is what they call it. So as soon as I get that letter, I'll get that to you, but really proud of our staff. They take a lot of pride in making sure that their trucks are squared away, that everything is working like it's supposed to. All the items inside our trucks that have an expiration date or not expired. Alex and Josh, they have paperwork that they have to do to make sure for education and for compliance. So I'm proud of all of them, but they take a lot of pride in this and they do a very, very good job. Two new things that I've added, we're started participating in the National CARES Registry. It's tied to out of hospital cardiac arrest so once we run an out of hospital cardiac arrest, we upload information into this national registry. The hospital, then if we transport them to the hospital, then they upload that information. And then over time, we can look and see what trends are within our community and then how those trends translate to what goes on nationally. So Alex and Josh are working hard on that. And then another is that Alex and Josh are in a quality improvement safety course. It's a NAE, National Association of EMS Educators program. So I believe it's educators for clinical quality and patient safety leaders in EMS. So it's through, NAEMSP. So it's a year-long program. So they're working hard on that. They are just looking again how departments can improve their quality of education, their clinical outcomes, as well as safety within the realm of EMS. So we continue to work with the mental health working group and task force and the substance misuse working group and task force. It's only CPR, stop the bleed training, migrating operational checklists, and continue to evaluate operational needs, inventory reduction, and the DEA changes. We have our first webinar with that coming up pretty quick. So we're looking forward to learning more about that.
Did you say you were gonna stop the trainings for now?
I think
'Cause
so. I know
I'm scheduled to do that and
Josh and I talked about it, and I think he had one coming up, and he said there were several people signed up for it, but we may look at that and talk with.
okay,
Elizabeth
just let me
for
know.
next
So,
year.
okay,
No, if people already signed up for it, then the class will be held.
okay. I think it was on the 22nd or something.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, he told me that there were people who had signed up for that one, so he wanted to continue with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it on the schedule then.
Yeah. We did 25 events standbys last month, since my last update with you. That'll start to go down a little bit with high school football and junior high football winding down, but basketball is gonna be winding up, so.
Where are most of those coming from, just out of curiosity?
Well, they were high school football, junior high football, because we have all the high schools here, then we have the Christian school over in Green Valley, but they play their games over here in Riley County. And then K-State football, K-State soccer, K-State basketball. We had, I believe there was a run, a 5K or a 10K that we were there for as well, so. I can give you more of a breakdown, but that's typically what all those are.
Yeah, actually, if you could, that'd be
absolutely.
good information to know, just.
I can do
I
that.
get asked about that on occasion, and nice to be able to give them some straight answers.
Sure, yeah, but it's almost all tied for this time of year. High school, junior high football, K-State athletics.
Okay.
So, community outreach, car seat check lanes, we involved in a couple different trunk or treat. And then Josh gave a presentation to the Morning Rotary Club a couple Fridays ago on EMS and just where we are with our building and kind of what's going on with EMS. I heard from one or two people who said that they're really pleased with how he presented our department and explained things to them. So, and then the Veterans Day Parade. So. And then there's a breakdown of our calls, responses by day of the week. As you would expect, nothing out of the ordinary there for us. Wednesdays, just Wednesdays are one of those days. It's just people, Mondays, it used to be Mondays were busy because people be sick throughout the weekend and then. But then it kind of changes to Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So, it's one of those things and we really can't put our finger on it, so. That's the thing about our job is we never know. Every day is different and you never know what you're gonna encounter on any given day. And then, dispatch reasons, falls, sick person. These all kind of bounce around a little bit every month, but it's usually the same 4 or 5 responses. And then you have the breakdown of the building and where we're at with that. Do you have any questions about any of this? They are moving right along. They're doing well. So we've got working on the signage, and actually Rich, I have a couple questions for you this afternoon or tomorrow. So, but it's coming along well. So we're really excited. So we're almost halfway. Any questions for anything?
Facility looks good. It's gonna be top notch.
It is going to be just fantastic.
Actually, money wise,
We are halfway. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Next, Commissioner, you have press conference at 9:30.
What am I presenting?
Elizabeth?
How is this? I don't know anything about it.
He didn't get anything on the presentation.
I don't have anything on me. I have it right now.
That's longer than 3 to 5 minutes. I don't know what it is. I can present the already. Yeah, can you do that? Okay. Okay. I just didn't know anything about it, so, okay, we can do that.
Listen.
Yeah, I see. You know, if it was a proclamation.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually seen it. Until
Who is that?
it sounds cool.
True.
Yeah.
So ready for our 9:30 press conference this morning. It looks like we've got a a different outside the box award that I don't think I've seen before. So I'm gonna let you explain what it is. And then we'll present the award. So take her away.
All right, the Kansas Department of Health and Environment awarded the Maternal and Child Health Home Visitor of the Year recognition to Maria Vergero, a dedicated maternal and child health bilingual navigator. Maria, who serves families in both English and Spanish, has made a profound impact on the lives of families, helping them navigate the complex healthcare system and offering critical support and education for the clients she serves. The Maternal and Child Health Home Visiting Program, which is designed to improve outcomes related to pregnancy, parenting skills, and early childhood health and development, has long been a cornerstone strategy of public health. It aims to provide families with the resources, knowledge, and support they need in their home. The program emphasizes a strength-based approach, focusing on the inherent capabilities of families and empowering them to overcome challenges through personalized support. Maria's commitment to this approach has set her apart as a leader in the field. Her work as a bilingual navigator means she plays a crucial role in ensuring both English and Spanish-speaking clients receive the care, guidance, and education they need. Whether it's helping families understand complex health information, offering parenting strategies, or assessing risks related to early child development, Maria's contributions have been invaluable. The impact of Maria's work is perhaps best illustrated by the relationship she fosters with the family she serves. According to her nomination for the award, Maria goes above and beyond for each of her clients, making every effort to bridge the gaps in communication between them and their medical providers. All her clients trust her and feel comfortable with her, which is reflected in the work she does. This trust and comfort are essential in the home visiting model as they allow families to feel heard, supported, and empowered to take an active role in their children's health and well-being. Maria's approach is rooted in empathy and understanding by offering her services in both English and Spanish to ensure that language is not a barrier to accessing critical maternal and child health information. She understands the unique challenges faced by bilingual and immigrant families and works tirelessly to provide them with culturally competent, compassionate care. As Maria continues her work, her influence will no doubt extend far beyond the families she directly serves, creating a ripple effect that will contribute to the long-term health and well-being of the community. Her recognition as Maternal and Child Health Home Visitor of the Year is well-deserved acknowledgement of her exceptional contributions to the field and to the families of Riley County.
Okay. This is the award that you're being presented with. And if you want to say a few words. Spanish, you can do that. And get a picture of her with you afterwards.
I want to thank my mom.
That's fair enough.
I'm very honored to work with families and that they trust me to go into their homes. That's someone's private space and I feel privileged to be able to do that. So I'm really honored to be here and be able to support the county's families that are part of our communities.
Okay, congratulations.
Make me look taller.
There you go. Perfect. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank you. My hands are, sorry.
Next, Commissioner, you have Brittany Phillips at 9:40 on the CIP work session.
That's kind of a big deal.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Really cool.
They
They haven't ever actually brought those to the commission in the past, when they had those internal awards, and I saw it in the meeting minutes, I said, well, gosh, we have to celebrate this, and so that's how it got a little discombobulated.
that's okay. I mean, some of these are, they're just annual or yearly,
Yeah.
but, yeah, we should celebrate those when we get them.
That's
Unique and cool.
And across the state, I mean, it shows the caliber of services that they're providing in Riley County.
Commissioner Ford, we do got resources at jail as well. In recent.
Yeah,
Then we can get working relationship with the health fund.
good, good to hear. Good to
Yeah,
hear.
we can follow that. Let's see. That's a great topic.
Sure.
It's gonna rain all day.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain pretty hard all day.
Yeah,
Dry out for a couple of days and there's a chance for wintry
and
precipitation.
then wind all night. It's what the weather report says.
It's been great, been able to leave the windows open.
But the wind, we haven't seen the winds. We've had high winds, we've had 20, 30 mile-an-hour winds all the time this year. It's-
Mm. Drop down in the 30s. After Wednesday.
The 20s for morning lows.
Yeah.
Really,
It's supposed to drop back off in the 50, one more season.
this app isn't very good. It's kind of,
Supposed to be a little cooler for next week for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I saw snow in northwestern part of Kansas around
they had a
Thanksgiving.
big storm out there already.
They can have all that.
Yeah. Yeah, we had something. What, first part of November, we had a big storm.
Looks like they're reducing our rain chances for this afternoon.
Yeah.
Looks like it's kind of shifting a little south.
Always does.
Yeah.
By Photoshopped.
Yeah, it's the whole day on the plane. Here's a healthy shot. From McDonald's.
Oh. Until they take all the good stuff out of it.
I know.
What is the good stuff? That's not.
All the sodium, all the nitrates, all
All the
the
good stuff.
all the good stuff, right? The frying oil that you use to fry the French fries in, all of it.
Yeah.
You just can't.
Peanut oil is a little bit better.
You never know what they.
Guess we're gonna talk money now.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brittany Phillips, Budget Finance Officer, here to present our CIP work session, and we have quite the list this go around. And so first, I just want to start talking about our estimated cash position for CIP. So we started off this year with $13,413,482. We've generated $1,052,690 in interest, and then we've also transferred in an additional $14,442,446. With those resources and all of our projected expenditures and our payments, we have an estimated amount of $17,799,981 cash available. Here are our reserve funds. This, again, just as a reminder, this was the radio refresh that we have been putting money into for several years now, and then we have found out that we no longer have to do that, so I just labeled this as other projects that we just have reserved there until we decide what to do with that funds. And then here is the expansive list of all of the requests. So we have EMS that is requesting. Can you guys see that okay?
Yeah, I've got a copy of it here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So they're requesting an ambulance remount. And that is $303,442. And then sorry. I'll just start from the top. Sorry. Riley County Office Building, we need a new fire alarm panel replacement. And then the CPE building, so this building, the HVAC needs replaced on this first floor. And then Noxious Weed needs a truck. I know Mike just brought it up to you last week, and I had talked to him and we said, let's just go ahead and present it for this one, and then if it gets approved, then we can go ahead and start moving that forward. Courthouse needs a cooling tower pump. The health department, this EMR replacement, this is their software that they use in their clinic. And there are currently only 2 health departments that are using this, 3. And they are kind of moving out of Kansas is my understanding. And so we need to replace this technology. The appraisers need a new vehicle. Emergency management also needs a new SUV. This one's been on the list for several years, is my understanding. We kind of keep pushing it down the line, and now we're at the point where we no longer can probably push it down the line. EMS ambulance remount, I already said that. Parks has several items here. The spreader sprayer, standing mower, tractor, Potter Fall Foundation, and then the playground equipment, Seco Park. And then Public Works also has 3 equipment items for a truck, chassis, a hydraulic trailer, and a truck. And then the LEC has the camera software update, and then we still have on here the RCPD range cleanup. And then of course we still keep the tax accounting software on there as well as a placeholder, but we always kind of push that one down the line too.
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
Yes.
On the LEC, didn't we just do the camera software updates for the jail? Is that what it's for, or for something else?
You just did camera up.
So yes, 2 years ago, you guys approved a camera software update. The vendor we currently had installed a software that is no longer supported. So we have got a new vendor who will go to the new software. They're not charging. We've got all that paid for from our prior contract. So we're not having to buy the new, but there is some labor. And then we're looking at adding 2 cameras and put an audio recording in all our pods. Currently, none of our cameras in the jail record audio. Consider that a huge safety risk. So basically, we went out, got a bid. It was about 35,000 for everything. And then working with the county, we were able to narrow down to what I consider critical. The software is very critical. So we were able to knock about 10,000 off of that. So, but you are correct, and I wasn't involved in that process. I'm not pointing fingers. The vendor was irresponsible, in my opinion, to install the software they knew wouldn't be supported a year and a half later.
Sad. Do we have any guarantees that this one's gonna go past a couple of years or?
I've met with our vendor multiple times. I'm very comfortable. It's a local company down in Kansas that I think will have a much better working relationship. The PD also just signed a monthly or a daily monitoring contract with them. They work with us a lot on the private meeting, and because of that contract, we get some discount on this kind of business as well. And it's very, very minimal. It's less than $200 a month that we pay for this kind of service. So they're wanting to get their foot in the door, and they're in, I believe, 8 to 10 other jails. They're in libraries, or they're moving across the state. So we're looking forward to this.
Okay. See, we haven't got to the facilities yet.
Yeah, we have.
We
just
have?
did.
Well, okay, well, I don't see and maybe it was last year, the windows for this building anywhere where is that bid?
Well, the bid is coming. I'm still waiting on, I need to get with Bruce about where we're at on doing that, but you've already approved the project, so that's why it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought it'd go up in price from where, I think we had what, 300 something?
I thought it was 400,000.
Or was it 400?
425 or something.
Yeah,
50.
I was just wondering why we haven't seen that final bid yet.
What hasn't been,
Plans aren't done.
it's not even put out yet. Bruce is still working on drawing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's been months. How long does it take them?
Well, there's a historical factor to it. So it's
Well,
gonna take-
yeah, but we already did the windows on the 4th floor, so that shouldn't be a huge thing.
But John, if you could get with Bruce and see about his timeline, and then Cindy, if you could update the commissioners on where we last stood financially on it.
Actually,
It's already an approved project, Catherine.
Yeah,
That's why
no,
it's not on
yeah,
there. So we
okay.
have some funding. We may have to come back if it is higher in price with amended return.
that's Brittany, by the way.
Brittany,
Okay.
what'd I say?
Cindy.
Oh, Cindy, sorry.
Cindy, Brittany.
With an amended form to increase the amount.
Increase it, yeah, I just wanted to make sure we had an accounting of that somewhere. You know, how much it was gonna cost us.
I do remember approving it, so I understand. what it's
Yeah.
saying, But
We need to get those ordered if we want to get it done in the spring.
would be nice.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
okay,
The price isn't gonna get any cheaper, so the sooner the better as well.
yeah.
That leads us to the facilities that are on this list.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Um,
Several.
yeah.
The tax and accounting software doesn't need to be done for sure, so
Okay.
it's a big chunk, so.
The fodder off and the playground were just kind of placeholders to remind you that that issue is still there.
Okay.
That was,
The fodder off all.
yeah, I was gonna say, I thought, until we decide for sure what we're doing is
Right.
foundation.
Right.
But do we want to spend it? I thought we weren't going to spend any more until we figured out.
Well, I was,
Long-
yeah,
long-
and Cinco
long
Park
run.
just in general.
Yeah,
Figure
that's,
out what we're doing.
Yeah, okay.
the playground stuff has been historically on there
Yeah.
to collect money or to build up funds to do something with the playground.
Okay.
You've been, since I've been here, you have and you have.
Yeah.
Those are just placeholders. I didn't know where else to put it other than there,
Number 4
keep
and
it
5.
on,
Okay.
that it's still an issue that would.
And so is the RCPD range cleanup, so that is also just a placeholder at this point.
That's been
We need
on
to-
there for, I mean,
Yeah.
we've had that money set aside.
That's been there for well over 4 years now, so.
Yeah.
That's a project that needs to get done.
Yeah, we're working on, Clancy and I are working on a pollution insurance policy because we have to have that. And then Clancy's been working with the property owner, so.
That's,
And you know how easy that goes.
yeah, I was gonna say, that's one of the hangups there, yeah. Okay. I think you need to leave that one in because that needs to be taken care of.
Yes.
Give me some more explanation on this ambulance remount. I think it's awfully pricey.
It is, and it's, everything is just continues to go up.
Why not just buy another, I mean, you're almost at
what we paid for the last one.
Yeah, we absolutely can. This is historically what we've done, because there's been such a difference in price, but that remount price continues to go up. And so I think we just put one on, a new ambulance on, because we had to do our last, I believe it was $390,000. So we certainly can do that. I've got the quote from, previous, if that's what you would choose to do.
Well, I thought if this new building, he wasn't allowed to ask. him.
Well, I was thinking, to be honest with you, but
I don't recall that, Commissioner.
Oh.
Well, how many times can you remount?
You can remount them 4 or 5 times. So again, reminder that a remount is they take the box off, refurbish it and clean it up and then put it on a new chassis. But as just the cost of it really, I think they want to get out of some of this remount business. They want to just do.
obviously.
Right, and I think we're starting to see that. So, because it used to be $125,000-$150,000 difference, now it's about 90,000. So. But
The remount, it's,
Showing
they take
300.
that box off and put it on a new.
chassis.
But they redo whatever's needed in the
Yeah,
box
they
and put it on
take
a
it
new.
down, repaint it, they put in, all new, vinyl on, the seating and new flooring and all of that. So, yes,
It's like a new ambulance, basically.
it is.
Yeah.
So, mhm.
I was thinking about that cost was close to what, that
It is.
one we
It-
just bought
Yep,
last year or. yeah,
just
last
earlier
year.
this year because it was, we did that earlier than typical because it's 2027 before we'll get that. Late 26, early 27, so.
So when would this one be?
This would be, late 25.
Okay.
So this, a remount is quicker than a.
Correct.
Than.
Correct, because they don't have to, part of it is because of just how many they have in queue waiting. Because they have 2 different manufacturer lines. They have the remount side and then they have the new truck side.
The truck.
So they've got more orders for new trucks. That's why and they take longer to build versus a remount, which they can get turned around quite a bit quicker.
One advantage, I guess,
Right.
Keep our fleet up a little bit better, so remount might make more sense at the moment.
Yeah, I suppose,
Yeah.
say if the new one's taking.
Yeah, the new ones are taking several
2 or
years.
3 years.
So, mhm.
If this only's 1 year, that's.
Yep.
To me, that makes up the difference of the price, I guess.
Absolutely. And even with the remount, I mean, it'll still, the chassis is still a new chassis and it'll last, 8 to 10 years. So.
So
or more.
do we have some others that are gonna come up, like say next year that need to be remounted?
We typically do one, we have a fleet of 8 and they usually last 10 to 12 years. So if I bring one back next year, it'll most likely be because it's a 2-year wait or 2-year lead time. So we do it so we can get in line. So.
Because I was thinking we probably should order new ones, in the future as opposed to
Which
remounts.
is what I did earlier this year.
Okay.
I ordered a new one because we knew that it was gonna be a couple of years out before we would get it, so.
Okay.
Mhm.
So to just. The new one versus a remount is, you need a new one because some of those. They've already been remounted a couple times or
Well,
they're just old, they don't.
Well, no, but the one that we did new it was on the old Freightliner chassis. And those are specialized and you can't put those on anything but a Freightliner chassis.
Oh.
So we can't put them on the Dodge or the Ford like what we have now.
Oh, okay.
So that's why.
That's why
This remount that we're discussing, it was on a Chevy chassis, so it can go on a Dodge, Ford, or Chevy chassis.
Oh,
That's why, it has to do with the length and the width of the box.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Thanks, David.
Then questions for you then, back on the. We're back to the top. Keep going, there we go. You say that expenditures, the 4,200,000, does that include this list or is that?
No, it includes the list of items that have already been approved by the commissioners and that we're already currently spending money on. So like last week, I did my cash flow update, that CIP list that I present, this number is matches that same number that I reported on.
Oh, okay, so I was just wondering what all was on that list.
Yeah.
What they're- excuse me. I mean, it just had, just curiosity, just what all is on that list. If you just, I mean, not.
I can
you
email
just
it to
send
you,
it.
or all three of you.
And it's debt and lease payments.
Mhm.
I know one of those is the rate. So what are all those?
Well, one of them is the Kanza water bond that we have, and then there are others. Debt and lease payments, I don't know if is the best accurate description. As I was typing this up last week, I kept looking at that and thinking I need to change that, because it's not just debt that portion is encompassing. And so when I send that entire CIP spreadsheet to you guys, it'll show it on there as well. That's $2 million.
Oh, okay, all right. And on the reserve, I'll probably ask this every time, FFE reserve. what's that?
The federal fund exchange, and so that's Public Works.
Oh, that's the public, oh, okay.
And I think I ask this question all the time too. The education center, what is that again?
Oh,
That's a replacement of the extension. That's the extension building out there at the new.
Okay,
that-
can we just
current
list that as
shop.
Potroff Hall instead?
Potroff
So I
Hall
can quit asking the
replacement.
question.
It's actually Potroff Hall replacement. It's not Potroff Hall or,
oh, okay.
because it includes extension.
I ask that every time, and every time I keep forgetting, so just relabel that one and I'll quit asking.
It includes one facility to replace Potroff Hall and their offices.
Right.
That's the FFE, right?
No, that's next one,
That was the
And this
federal
one
fund
here.
exchange, it's public works
this
is
one
here.
here.
Oh, that one, okay.
And I wanted to bring one more item just to your guys' attention, because on Thursday, Corey and I will be presenting an item for a countywide phone system upgrade that we're also requesting be paid out of CIP. Corey has been working on this for months with AT&T, trying to figure out what the best option for the county is, what the best cost saving is. And so I just wanted you to be aware that you probably saw that on Thursday's agenda for us to come back and discuss, but that cost upfront is $65,000.
On that health department, EMR replacement, I assume they're talking to other. I have a daughter that's a nurse, and every time she switches hospitals, she complains about the different. Everybody has EMR, some work and some don't. I don't know enough about it, but I assume they could talk to other groups to find out what works best.
The backstory is through the events that have transpired, we discovered that there was interest in conversation and even the thought that there was some financial money is being set aside to replace the system in grants and so forth. And we determined and found out that the funding was not there. And then the backstory to why the health department staff there was beginning to look into it was because they are one of 3 remaining counties using this software in the state of Kansas. The further backstory is that Riley County was one of a group of 6 counties, 5 counties maybe, that went together at the same time and purchased the software, which brought this company into the state of Kansas. The others, Johnson and several others, they abandoned several years ago. Currently, the other 2 counties are in the process of creating RFPs already, so they are ahead of where Riley County is at this particular time. So they're working on an RFP that they plan to release in 2025 for replacement. They continue forward, which in talking with them, it's we're doing this. It's not a maybe. They're doing it. The lack of support, the lack of system updates that they're getting, which tends to happen when you become the last ones, those services fall off. And so I did some investigation. These numbers roughly come from Saline County. Saline County did an upgrade to a system. They're relative similar size to us as far as FTE, the number of employees and so forth that we have in there, and the cost and things that they went through. So this is the cost is up there. It's based on just Saline County was great in providing me information on the timeline it took to replace, the cost, the services, and all those things that they got. So this is numbers based on the vendor that they chose, not numbers based on putting into RFP, but it is a baseline or an understanding, and it is a little high compared to what they paid, and I put it there on purpose. So this was put there for you to see that I do believe from a technological standpoint, our opinion, that this is something that we need to move on next year. But you needed to start to see the number and have the discussion, but obviously internally, we've also said some staffing needed to get filled and replaced, and then this be, you know, with the new health department director. But it needed to be there and need to know that that's the number, and the only place to come for funding from this would be from CIP. It's not in IT budget, it's not in health department budget. But it being the main core critical piece of software they have, the longer we wait, the farther things are gonna drop off. So.
Yeah, and like I said, I
And
know
it
there's
is
a lot of
tough transition.
systems, you just have to talk to other departments and see which one, because the salesmen say they're all great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been there.
He was that.
Yeah, right? So it's the best thing you've ever had, right? Yeah, so, correct. They all tell the same story of why they're the greatest things since sliced bread, but the bottom line
But
is
then you talk to other
talking to other
hospitals
users and customers that they have, you
departments.
find out the real, you know, the real peanut butter and jelly of the sandwich, and, yeah. And so that'll be the process that needs to take place now, is working with staff, working and looking through what vendors are out there, the new health department director and the direction you want to go. But you know, we'll be there along the way, doing everything we can to support, and probably have to be some on-site visits, some phone calls, some look at Cs. I mean, this is a major application,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it will be a tough transition in this. You know, the day comes if we have to replace tax and accounting here, those are the two biggest applications that we have countywide. And they'll be tough. I was here when we went to the current system they have, and it was a long transition process. You know, it took a long time. We, in fact, during that process, had to put one of our IT staff out there every day for 3 months to help support them through when they made that transition before. So, yeah.
So then what's the tax and accounting software?
That's to replace everything for tax and accounting, the complete computer system we currently use, which is Comtech.
You're saying it's on there, but you don't need it. Yeah.
Well,
Yes and
what
no.
we're doing now, well, it's a small company, same thing. It's a small company. That's a dad and son run company that has 5 or 6 counties in the state. And at some point in time, they're gonna fold shop, and you're not gonna have a choice at that point in time.
Oh, okay.
And you see
So
the
there
price
isn't
tag.
anything wrong with what we've got. It's just eventually it's gonna go away.
You know, I've been in this, you know, how many years now? I've been through how many computer software changes, and none of them do
We were doing
everything
stuff
that
on
they
big
say.
cheap tablets when you first started, didn't we?
No kidding. The
Yeah.
ledger in the treasurer's office was that big, by that thick,
Yeah.
on paper.
The
Yeah, I used to do the distributions all on an Excel spreadsheet I made myself. So yeah, not far. Actually, Eileen King, because they came on with my experience, we implemented the first computerized tax and accounting software in Riley County from the ground up, building all the base codes, all the base funds, and we had a lot more funds back then. I can show you the levy sheets that prove that. And so 600,000, I hope, touches it at this day and age. We've had that $600,000 figure in there for probably 4 or 5 years. And it's going to be a huge change. It's going to be a huge demand on staff to convert over to something like that, because they all promise you when they're selling, oh, conversion's easy. We can just push this button and it'll all magically, and it doesn't. But yeah, that'll be a big process and an expensive one. You know, the clerk, treasurer, and register of deeds have the tech fund that can be used for anything related to real estate. Since the implementation of that tech fund, I have not spent a dime of it, with the intention of putting it all towards this as well. If we need it.
That's what
That's been,
fund's
if
for.
you look every time that Brittany will present those financial numbers, I have not spent a dime of that money, with the intent of using that for the county at whatever point in time we go to that. So that would help offset that. But with the health department's 250,000 software, that's nothing that's ever funded directly at that level from a department, whether grant or not. So that does not surprise me. That is a CIP type of project.
Prior to coming to Riley County, I was with a company that has a product. So I'm familiar with the amount of time it takes and the manpower that it takes in that transition process. And it's not a 3-month or a 6-month process. It's a 1.5-year process. Because you only want to convert from what you have at certain times when you finalize numbers that you work off of and things. So you don't want to transition from one to another in the middle of a calculation type season or whatever you might be doing. You want to do that once you've confirmed numbers and then you move them across so that you have a solid foundation to start with. I was never involved in a transition of a product that didn't require or ask if the potential for overtime, because you've got to do your daily job and take care of first, and then you're going to be reviewing numbers and reviewing board reports and looking at things. So I, without a doubt, know that number is low. You're easily probably looking at another 150 or 200,000 on top of that. It's where we get to. But the number needs to be there and it needs to be kept in mind because the amount of time the transition can take, and when Rich and Shiloh and so forth feel it's time to have those discussions and make those transitions. And so that's why it needs to stay and always be in our minds of what that cost might be.
And the biggest problem, commissioners, is there's very few to no companies that will do it for our size and lower of counties. And so you're talking big dollars if you have to go the next step, which is something that Shawnee or Johnson or Sedgwick can afford in a customized project or a big national firm.
We're just a little smaller.
It's the same issue we do with the inmate medical provider for RCPD. They were the only company that would even bid on someone as small as us when we got their service.
That's a really good point. I mean, that number could inflate pretty fast.
We could go to 3 times that overnight.
You could say that we're the big fish in the small pond or the small fish in the big pond, and that means that to get the functionality that we need, we may have to step up a tier or two in what pricing might be. So that is a very, very valid point there. We have to understand that. Yeah.
How much is in that tech fund?
Excuse me?
How much is in that tech fund? And you know, I know she gives us a report, but I don't.
I think it's just under 200,000 or so.
I think it was 190 something.
I believe though that, I know the treasurer and register of deeds have spent monies out of theirs, but I have not spent a dime since I got it. And we all have the authority as elected officials to spend that money as long as it's related to real estate.
Right.
But I've never used any of it with the intent of it going towards this.
Well, then if, like say are they in that 4 million probably?
No,
Because they've never been approved.
Oh, these are the ones that, these are,
that figure you're talking about on there, Commissioner McKinley, the best way to look at it, it is the best guesstimate as to what was budgeted for only approved projects that are activated and approved, that has gone before this board. You've activated them and now the departments are in charge of carrying those out.
but then if this is on, then what is this list for? If it isn't, some of these items aren't like the water and the range cleanup, they aren't. We're not approving those. We're just.
You don't have to, and that's something I was gonna say, the last several times these presentations have come to the board, generally, the only items the board has approved is those that get a department ranking of 1. That's what commissioners need to look at, but the tax accounting and software is a 1 because if we got a call from Comtech, which I said is a small company, and says, we're going out of business in a year, we're gonna let you know we're shutting our doors.
Yeah, then
you got to have that there available, with the only other big one, the playground equipment. I suggest the commissioners continue to approve that because you get to chip away that little by little. Last time we had an estimate on replacing all of that is a very large item. And I know it's a big discussion and it has been for a couple decades, but I don't know if the commission knows what they're gonna do with Seco at this point in time. And I'm not talking Potter's, I'm just talking Seco, but
Yeah.
and Greg, John could probably allude to this, but the playground equipment we have in there now, once you take it down, you may give the museum as a display because that's about the point in time, how far behind we are in getting that replaced.
I'm not so for sure that a playground is everything that's needed there at this point in time with other things that we have. I mean,
I don't know, the playground is used daily. I
Yeah.
mean,
A lot.
used to be
Yeah.
Always a car too there. So that's probably, for our side, without extension stuff that's used daily.
It was, and like you said, some of that stuff's there when I took my kids there.
And it's difficult, commissioners, because, and John can tell you, in the previous Public Works Director, Rod Meredith, always during budget process came to the board and said, I understand parks are not a statutory requirement of counties. We're one of the very few counties that has a parks department. So having a park is out of norm for most counties, let alone having park equipment. But if you're gonna have it, you gotta maintain it.
Yeah. So
What did it cost for that, Keats Park? Cause that's got a lot of new equipment in it, probably not as much as.
Well,
Seco.
that playground has just been rebuilt 3 years ago.
Yeah, so how do you
How much
remember
was it?
how much it was?
I mean, I thought it was before you. Or,
That was all planned before.
yeah.
Cause that one's used a lot too, not as much as Seco probably, but that's a
Yeah,
really
probably not as
nice.
much, but it's used by so many people even outside of kids. I remember
Yeah.
my kids, that's where we had baseball practices and the younger siblings play on the playground equipment. That's a huge asset to Riley County, but once again, not a requirement, county government.
You said putting some aside, do we have a fund for Seco Park? Like, cause you said putting that money in there, if
we have.
Right there, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I know we've put at least 75,000 away one year. Early.
You know how much
Yeah,
is-
playground.
325, 350.
Okay.
Okay, cause as you said, I thought we've been putting a little bit more towards it each year.
And that's
Okay.
what I'd encourage you to keep doing. So at some point in time, it's gonna have to be done.
And we put that in our CIP list that we present, so he puts this on here, pretty much every time we do a CIP session. And so if you guys approve it, then we have that 75,000 allocation to the approved project, and that project is already out there. We just-
So that list will show that,
Yes.
okay, that'll show what's in there so far.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So do we just approve all this list or
No,
like say, do we take off the foundation?
I'd still like to wait on the EMR replacement.
Which is fine to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just let new staff get in there, analyze that and see what and maybe they still want to go this direction. But just give them a chance to analyze that. Maybe they can find some extra dollars or something through their budgeting process to make that work or something. So just give me the opportunity.
I agree of its urgency to do, but I don't want you to decide on that until there's been time for the
Right.
new director and we meet and discuss that.
Leave it on the list for 25.
Yeah, it took roughly the installation that I saw, the transition period, it took about 2 months. When I visited with another customer, as far as their transition process, it took about 10 months. So, yeah, in all my time here, as far as IT, we've never been on the CIP. So, is it the 25? I would see more, that's when the approval and move forward with, but an RFP to be created and go through counselors and make sure that it's all right and then get out and then the money and so forth. I mean, it's definitely not happening this year. Yeah, without a doubt.
If it's gotta go through counselors, that's 2 years.
Well, so I need to order colored cups and things. I'm gonna do all I can to try to help that transition quickly. Coffee cups.
There you go.
In my eye.
That's absolutely.
Yeah, Starbucks.
So like I said, commissioners, typically it's the number one priority. You can go as far as you want. Those priorities, the software equipment for tax and accounting does not need approved. It'll just be moved on to 2025, just in case.
So,
And same way with Potterworth. Sounds like the
Playground.
software, those are the biggest ones on there already to eliminate.
And just so you all know, like if there's anything that you don't approve, even in past sessions, I've either kept it on the list because it's still something that departments heads have said they've needed, or like in this case, I'll move it to 2025. And because this is just a list of projects that are on our radar over the next couple of years.
And the reason the department heads are here is like, you know, to ask John, how important is the CPE HVAC since it's a number 2, and then like the standing mower, if it's a number 2. So how critical is that at this point in time? And that's why what they're here to answer those questions for you.
I'm hearing the CPE building quite a bit. I'd say that HVAC is pretty damn important. I'm just throwing that out.
It's not for this area though, right?
And judging with the fact that we're getting new windows and stuff in here, that energy efficient
Change it,
process should be
yeah.
better, so, yeah.
Yeah, I bet we're spending a fortune on utilities.
It did get a little interesting in here this summer.
Yeah,
Up on some different floors.
and there's a few times
Well,
in
this is
February
just
where
for
it goes the opposite direction
Yeah.
too.
The snow comes in.
Yeah.
February.
But this isn't for the whole first floor. Didn't you say it's just for the hallway in the back? That's
Right, so before we remodeled, it was just set for the hallway, because the storage back there really didn't need that, but when they started reworking in there,
Yeah, now that they
we
work
had,
there.
we're having a hard time controlling the
Yeah.
temperature, so adding another HVAC unit, separating the thermostats, one for the room, one for the hall, will have better.
Yeah.
But it'll work better for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
there's
that
no
was-
windows back there.
Yeah, well, it's a store, just like I said, just a storing for now. It's a place where they can work. Kind of expanded it, gave them room to breathe back there.
I'd like to see the electricity.
And I'll just remind the commissioners, you can't ignore the one that you talked about, you and Corey's been working on the phones. That's gonna have to be done, but it was what, how much?
That was $65,000.
65,000, that's gonna have to be done. And then remind commissioners, after the report is finalized from the strategic planning retreat, you know, our hope as staff is to bring you guys some recommendations on here's where we suggest you start on the renovations of current facilities. And then you have to look out farther, is if there's ever gonna be anything done with the judicial center, and you know, maybe an election, but maybe partially fund at least. And so those are all things you need to keep on your radar out there.
Okay.
So that's a question.
Just from an IT standpoint, as far as the HVAC here on the first floor, I would put my support for that, because I would remind the commission that we're storing, there's a lot of
Yeah.
electronic storage.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Fully
so-
aware.
so, yeah, climate control and the ability to control that is very, very crucial. So just, yeah, just,
Yeah. $30,000 is worth
yes, sir.
protecting that.
Yes.
We got well over about, what, close to $2 million in investment there.
So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if I'm understanding this right, we're gonna wait on the 2 software services and Hot Hall at this point, and go with everything else.
Were you gonna do everything there for the parks 1 through 5?
Yeah, because no, not 1 through 5, just not 4 Hot Hall, but probably need to put 75.
Put away.
Yeah.
So
And what about the public works request 1 through 3?
How bad do you need all of it, John?
I need it all.
I figured you'd say that.
Trucks, you know, if we're a year and a half out on
That's
that
what I
truck,
was thinking on that.
we're doing a remount with that, so the old box is good. We'll pull them out and put it on the chassis.
Okay, so you don't need number 1 or
But
number
I
3?
need, I do need number 1. That's what
Okay.
that is, a new truck.
Okay. Can we hang loose on the other 2?
I always make do.
Okay.
So, you know, I mean, their needs, will definitely need them. The gooseneck trailer helps pull our skid steers
Okay.
around with the 550 trucks.
I say we go ahead and do the truck because it's gonna take 2 years to get it.
Yeah.
So,
Still that long on trucks, huh?
That's what they're getting.
yes.
What about the trailers? How, what are they?
The
different?
trailer's not so a long lead times.
If you had to pick out of the two, the gooseneck and the box and stuff, you would probably choose number one as you have it listed.
Yep.
Okay. Can we hold off on the second one for now?
For the pickup, I don't know what,
4x4 cab pickup. Is that gonna be on order too, the pickup?
The last ones we ordered in November, I've showed up and we're setting them up, and so.
Okay. So
Yeah, and Alvin's got his pickup. It was on that last round in November. So the pickups aren't taking as long as they were.
Okay. We hold up on the gooseneck and the pickup for now, and
Is that, or is the pickup replacing one that needs to be replaced?
It could probably hold off another 6 months, a year, yeah.
okay.
Okay.
You have clear direction, Brittany, on
Yeah, you're gonna confirm. Okay, so we're approving everything except the health department EMR replacement, Otter Fall Foundation, the two public works, number 2 and 3, so the trailer and the pickup, and the tax accounting software, moving all of those to next year's list.
Yep.
But everything else, including RCPD range cleanup,
Yeah, we need to get that done.
hopefully that.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you,
Done this
that's,
year.
that price is a lot lower than what we had estimated originally, by a lot, so.
Yeah, I think Clancy's been working on that. I don't know if he's got.
He's been working on it for
a couple years.
yeah, since we opened the new facility.
It'd be good.
There's a
to-
lot of complications behind that. Let's
Yeah,
leave it
it'd
at
be
that,
good to
but
get that done before he leaves,
Um,
probably.
that's his goal, but I'm not seeing it.
it needs to be activated because we are going to have to do it.
yeah.
It is it has been transferred over to me.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh.
and I'm.
You finished it.
What's that? Well, it's, there are elements of that project that require cooperation with third parties.
Yes.
I understand. So I think that's what you
Okay,
said, sounds all right.
perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll have all these project activations in your packet for Monday.
First, commissioners, if I can get a motion on that, and then if you can get Cindy the correct ones to include on that. Brittany, gosh, darn, I am struggling with names today. I need more coffee.
Sydney,
We need to get Cindy in here.
I need more coffee. If we can get a motion to approve that list, commissioners.
I'd make a motion to approve the revised CIP list.
I would second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the CIP list as revised and presented. All in favor? All right.
Aye.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brittany. Appreciate it. Next, commissioners, you have Steve Shirley at 10:30.
Go through Clancy, have a little bit of break. So there's Clancy was on.
Did you have anything you wanted to add? You have-
Clancy's time.
Your last.
I'll just say, Commissioners, Brian Parker, Deputy County Counselor, nothing to go forward on this section.
Thank you, sir. Now we're ready for 10:30. Yes.
What was in the commercial rates?
What?
Oh, this, the employee day,
No.
yeah. I guess he's the chair.
Hey, sir, how are you? Good.
End up guessing things out.
Pretty good for. Yeah. And we're gonna have her- Good job.
Oh crap, I forgot. After watching my Jaguars get absolutely shellacked yesterday, I think I'm done with football.
52?
It could have been worse. Yeah, they're fixing, they're gonna clean house at the end of the year. They better.
Oh, the Chiefs finally lost.
Probably good for them. Cowboys and the Texans.
Oh, I think it was good for him. They've been I'm a lifelong Giants fan. That team has deserved to lose at least 3 games this season. I mean, I just don't, I don't understand how they.
It was the first time they said in like 30 something games, they gave up 30 points.
28 points.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah. In like 2 years. So,
Well, the defense is magnificent.
yeah,
You know,
you're playing a really good, Buffalo team. Somebody said, it's all right if they lose in November, but they'll win in January and February.
I guess so. I'm one of those critical fans that, I'm like, at some point, the offense needs to show up and do their job. But it's not for quarterback play, that's for sure.
I was thinking after Buffalo missed that extra point, I thought the way the Chiefs play,
I did too.
that at the end of the game, they'll kick.
But that was the opportunity,
They'll kick.
except for without our stud kicker.
Yeah,
That's the bad thing.
Yeah,
but it's gonna be an extra point.
it's been helped this year. I mean, it really has. I mean,
That's
they
why.
lost their 3 deep at wide receiver. They lost their 2 starting running backs.
I know.
I mean, you just,
It's amazing
no
they've
matter
gotten
what
this
team
far.
you are, you just can't, it's hard to recover from,
That's why I shouldn't be too critical.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're still in the driver's seat. I don't know if their schedule gets easier, but, they win a 3-peat, that's what they're gonna have to do. We'll have to figure it out.
I think they'll be fine. Andy Reid always seems to find a way to scheme around the personnel that he has.
They've spoiled us for the last 5 years.
They,
We should expect them to get to the Super Bowl.
I also think that there's times where Mahomes maybe tries a little too hard. Like towards the end of that game yesterday, he threw a pass that he really shouldn't have thrown.
the one to Kelsey that they picked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Credit to the Bills. I mean, that Jared Allen
Josh.
Josh, why did I say Jared? Josh.
That was the former chief from a long time ago.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, the same thing.
No, he is good. He's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
They just, through the years, they really had to put all the pieces around him.
Yeah, he was. Game, second half of that.
That Steelers Ravens game was pretty good yesterday too. Defensive struggle.
Steelers are.
Ready?
Yep.
Steve?
Oh, okay. I was looking at you. There you are.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Steve Shirley with the Employment Office, also co-chair of the Employee Day Committee. So I'm here today to present kind of an overview of our 24 Employee Days. So as kind of noted here, just kind of going through here, mainly as Vivian just kind of touched on, I'll just kind of start with the budget wise. The exact figures haven't come in. That's just kind of a year to date so far. I think the food hasn't hit yet, but by all accounts, we'll still be below our approved budget of $21,755. So again, overall feedback was pretty positive between breakout sessions and everything like that. And we received, several suggestions as well with the survey. So just kind of dive into the slides here. So awesome, perfect, thank you. So again, it took place on October 14th. As far as Employee Day, there was approximately 250 employees. We had 5 training presentations, 36 service awards were handed out, and this was the first year for the Employee Day Fun Fair. And survey results, there's about 131 people that replied via the survey. So not everyone, but a good majority there. So the 2024 theme for this year was One Riley County. It was primarily developed because our committee really wanted to focus not only on teams within our departments, but also on Riley County as a whole. We're also mindful that this is the only day that everyone gets together, and we wanted to take advantage of that opportunity as well. So the first part was the morning was with Judy Favor with In the Zone presenting the keynote titled "You've Got to Own It: Building a High Functioning, High Performing Team." Highlighted actions that both leaders and team members can take to develop sustainable, high functioning teams where individuals thrive and teams achieve organizational goals. She shared her team model, which is look like this. So she shared a slide of that. And really it just had the different tiers, and it kind of started out with the foundation was having the right people in place, which led to communication, which led to the psychological safety, which essentially is trust among everyone, the commitment where employees feel empowered, and conflict resolution. And finally, holding just each other accountable is the top, and then you're a high-performing, high-functioning team. So some of the results from the keynote here was in the survey was, again, most everybody enjoyed it. It was excellent to good was the majority of respondents, and again, as you can see, it's just overall positive. There was a little difficulty with the microphone and having to be, pretty close to the mouth, but kind of have that in a later slide. Some things we're gonna work on for next year. So after the keynote, we had our service awards. And again, as I touched on, there was 36 service awards given out. As you can see, 22 employees, 5 to 15 years, 12 employees, 20 to 35, and 2 employees that were 40 years. Danny Williams was named Employee of the Year. And so when we then had our first breakout sessions after the service awards, which was improving team dynamics with Judy Favor, and then situational awareness and de-escalating situations with Troy Allman. So that first breakout, again, improving team dynamics with Judy. She just dove into that high performance team model a little further. She also, one item that she shared was improving team dynamics, which in a manual. And so what this was just a series of questions ranging from what gives you energy and what takes away your energy, and what is the best way of others to kind of communicate with you. And as far as I understand, as a result, some leaders actually reached out to Elizabeth and got a copy of this to share with their team. And with the appraiser's office, we actually filled that form out and shared that information with her. So she's used that to, again, just communication standards that we're kind of putting in our office to be able to know who she's talking to and what makes them tick. So that's helped us. And then the other the survey, again, that session was pretty positive. Most of it was and you'll see like the NA, again, since it was a breakout session, not everyone could attend, so that's why you see the larger piece of the pie is not applicable, but again, everything was positive, average or above. So the next one was a little more hands-on training, which was the situational awareness and a de-escalating situation. And that was given with Troy Allman, who runs Evolution Martial Arts. That session was basically first provided some insight how to avoid being a victim. You just mentioned walking with confidence, head up, and just being aware of your surroundings, looking for exit signs, those sort of things. He also demonstrated, if confronted by someone, he mentioned taking a step back and begin in a better position in case you had to defend yourself. And then finally, as you can see on the picture on the right, the group was able to practice some punches and kicks and using with the pad work. And I was unfortunately the dummy demonstrations, and it was his kicks are a lot more powerful than my 10-year-old. So
Is that Cindy Gabriel there? Did she give you a punch?
No, yeah, I would like to say I was the test dummy, Master Roman.
Cindy went with her daughter. They were the two. That
Yep.
hit
So
each
it was good.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Yeah. It was really good. So, survey results on that, again, you can see a larger piece of the information, since not everybody could attend, but a little more of a mix, some poor. I think some of that is attributed to, one of the comments was that, one of the participants thought it was gonna be more like office security, not realizing it's kind of more individual based. So maybe a little confusion on how is the verbiage and presented a little bit there. So, next thing, we finally made it to the afternoon breakout sessions, which was emotional intelligence and leadership. And that was provided by Steel Built Leadership, and Kurt and Tyler both work for the Riley County Police Department. The material they went over is typically like an all-day workshop, so the session did go by really fast, but there was a lot of good information provided. Again, handouts were provided beforehand, and just kind of spoke about emotional intelligence and access themselves to where they are on emotional intelligence. One thing that was kind of quote I saw that would kind of stuck out to me, I guess, in particular about this session was, I would love to hear more in regards to emotional intelligence. I'd love to hear more about the brain and its systems and how it responds to stress, anxiety, etc. I think it would be good to bring in a cognitive behavioral therapist or psychologist at PhD level to discuss these issues, perhaps touch on neurodiversity in the workplace as well. So again, kind of these sessions, you get something from it, and also it's brainstorming and kind of continuing education and thoughts and ideas on that. So the session here, again, overall, good session. Maybe one participant maybe mentioned it was more, but overall a positive session on that. So the other afternoon session was all hat, no cattle. And that was with Jack Lindquist as the presenter. And he also provided a handout, which was just kind of a life timeline. That should revolve about strengthening the relationship with coworkers. And one way of doing that was by sharing a life experience from your life timeline with another participant, letting them know, how that event had impacted your life. And really kind of in essence being vulnerable with the person next to you. And kind of the overall theme, I think, was even as a professional, you can still be personable and understand where people are coming from. So, results on that. Again, kind of mixed, but overall pretty good. Again, I know one comment was made on there, which is kind of more. It felt it was a little harder to follow along this one. Not sure really what that meant, but anyway, like I say, I think overall all positive. So, and the final thing that I think the end of the day was the Employee Day Fun Fair. I think by all accounts that was the most exciting team building event that we've had, and it included dinosaur races, car and motorcycle show, other fun activities, and of course the grand finale pie in the face to some of our leaders. I would like to take.
That's not an HR issue?
They all signed a waiver.
Oh, okay.
Only with Brittany. Only with Brittany.
Yeah, right. You feel the concerns.
That's true.
I'm not faint dancing.
You're gonna hear a lot about that one.
That's David, I think. Yeah.
You remember signing the waiver, right, Brian?
Oh, yes, very much. I think I got multiple pies in the face, though. I should have signed it multiple.
Oh,
Yeah.
Apparently he's a big target.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
He was. He's a fun target.
They all are duties assigned.
Yeah, correct.
He's a full time.
Part of that day, I would like to just take and give a big shout out to Tasha Drake and the Fun Fair Committee. They did a phenomenal job of putting these activities together, and I know it was a lot of work that they did there. So, again, it was an opportunity for all the Riley County employees to come together and network. Several of these games, I guess you could say, required coworkers to communicate with each other and also motivate each other. Which again, going back to Judy's pyramid, those are the two key components of the foundation of a high functioning, high performing team. So I really think by getting outside of the office, people were more relaxed, more themselves. And again, which opened us to embrace each other and our differences and create a team. So the results, like I say, as you can kind of see, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I'm hopeful those people still got some joy out of seeing our leaders get a face full with cream. But again, several comments that stated they honestly more time with these type of activities. I mean, you can see that 80% was good to excellent. So just kind of a quick summary of the whole day. So I kind of broke it down in my mind as like venue, food, education sessions, and team building. Again, you can kind of see across the board that for the most part, everybody was that good. They enjoyed the day between the venue and snacks, food, everything like that. So, and I think it's no surprise, again, favorite thing that people overall today, they really enjoyed the one Riley County during the Fun Fair. I love a couple quotes here. I love being able to meet others during the fair. I got to put many names with faces. I thought the day was good, sessions were the right length, and everybody getting together in the afternoon was nice. So one of the questions we asked, of course, with the survey, what changes will you implement? Again, feel like this is a vital question because it tells us the value and benefit that employee is receiving. We heard a lot of positive comments in some negative that we're gonna work on, but overall positive. And some in addition to what's on the slide, I just wanted to share was trying to better myself as a person and follow the steps of the pyramid to improve how I present myself and how I affect others. Another one is I'm going to work on my user manual and work on what I can do to help my team to be more efficient and successful. And then also work on team meetings and emotional intelligence. So as I kind of touched on earlier, some leaders have already reached out to Elizabeth to get that manual to implement that.
The user manual is what Judy called her, like
Self-reflection, yeah, self-reflection, yeah, exactly. So. Just quote here, so I think Employee Day has improved a bit each year recently. I think people are working hard to make it good. And as I kind of touched on, we are trying to improve things each and every year. And we're never happy with just, I guess, par. We always kind of want to be reaching above and beyond. So one thing we kind of noticed too is the variety of sessions. There was kind of a common theme this year, but maybe next year we look at it just a little more variety, maybe some more hands-on. The say-on quality, again, holding the microphone, swallowing the mic, just doesn't, it wasn't quite ideal. So maybe look at a lavalier microphone. Again, as it's kind of evident in the results, maybe possibility of some more team building time. And then just a little better flow with the service awards and maybe a restructuring of that as far as the presentation goes. Maybe pictures beforehand, something like that, but really still emphasizing, the service side of it. So again, all kind of discussion and things that might take place. So, which again, as Tini and I and Vivian met, as we were kind of talking about recapping the 24 season, just kind of started brainstorming a little bit for, possibility of next year. And, we kind of felt agreed that AMC venue was a good venue to hold Employee Day, try to keep that Employee Day fun fair. We also kind of thought of, even just more volunteers through the whole day instead of just at the fun fair. Some people stepped up to the plate, like Derek and IT was handing out name tags, those sort of things. So maybe not necessarily having to commit time to being on the committee, but volunteering for that day to help streamline a few things. And then even it just led to, again, the themes for next year. We'll of course have to have conversation as a whole committee, but we started talking about the future of Riley County, how do the current leaders and mentor those that are going to be replacing them. And then also just, as far as technology evolves, how does AI impact our workflows? So we were just kind of talking about, again, some of those things. So just some things to ponder, I guess. So with that, really, just thank you for your time and attention. And we look forward to coming back next June and presenting a scheduled budget.
And Steve and I didn't talk, but everybody in the audience, everyone listening, all of these things, so Tandy, Steve, and Vivian, they need your support role along with the committee, but any of these things, they need new, fresh ideas. This is an employee-driven day and a professional development day. So if you have ideas and things you'd like to see, please get with Steve or Tandy, who are the co-chairs, and let them know so that you can grow your committee.
Yeah.
And I think Commissioner Ford has something for us.
I don't know if anybody had anything else. I wasn't here for it. I was elsewhere, so.
Well, the dinosaurs were great. You
You
need to have more of those.
Yeah, that's.
People really enjoyed those.
Where do you get those?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, all kinds.
Okay.
I think overall that's what I know. So I can get to talk to ladies in the health department and just, you can kind of put in the faces with their names and just seeing people step up that didn't, again, not even on the committee or that they could step up to the plate. That was just really great to see. Hopefully everyone enjoyed it and at least, again, took away one thing from the sessions that they can utilize in their everyday lives. So.
like somebody said, the third one or fourth, whatever it is, each one seems gets a little better. I think you guys have done a lot of work.
Yeah, that's good.
It's-
We hope to keep that going,
Keep
because
that.
like she just touched on the more ideas, the better, and to narrow it down and having that one focus and there's cookies, so that's. Snacks and all sorts of stuff. Is everybody?
We have just discussed in our planning meeting for this session, whether it's the appropriate time to ask for direction for next year for the committee to continue meeting, and that the plan is to, on this day when, October, I don't remember what date it falls on, but that we are in session and close to the public, and we continue to dedicate staff time to planning the day for 25.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it's good, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Well,
Steve, hold on.
that,
Oh, thank you.
I got you, Ellen wants to get up here too, so. Yes. Yeah. She's there, sir. Russell, thank you. Corey, this goes to you and your entire team, because it took more than just.
Yes.
Obviously. And here's to both of you. I've got one for Tasha, if you want to give it to her too.
Yeah.
Okay, do that. Okay. Tell her, thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you,
of
see you
course.
too. And that one you just give her.
I will,
So
I will.
we said thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Time for Mr. Ellerman, commissioners.
Yes.
It's gonna exit now.
Yeah, John's just not.
Yeah.
Video.
John doesn't attract the crowd, does he?
It was kind of neat going on, going to all the different events at the fun day, seeing how everybody participated.
Yes.
Yes, Dave?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
Well, good morning, commission. Since I missed the last couple months and probably next month too, I thought I'd sneak in here on the agenda to let me know what I've been doing. We've been doing. So Kitten Creek Road, we opened bids on last week before, and approved Reach Construction to do the project. Should start here in December, once we get contracts back and do a pre-construction. And they estimated a 45 working day turnaround on that. So this is that, and Winkler Mills is our final 2012 sales tax project. We have started putting together RFQs for some of the bridges and culverts, and I've been working with the city and our counselors about a contract for Marlette Road. I was hoped to get that done by the end of the year, but hopefully right at the first of the year when is to get through the city portion of it. Yeah, I'm hoping to really get that contract underway real soon too. And start those Winkler Mills. We're still looking at easements and some permitting to do, but hopefully you get that in front of you to open bids here soon. Parallel Road just got completed about a month ago, and it's been open to traffic. Parks crews, are doing final mowing, closing down the irrigation systems. Maybe start some broadleaf spraying, but probably not if we keep getting the rains. Won't do much good, but the idea is still there. They planted some more trees. He's been doing a lot of cleaning up old dead trees, or trees that aren't looking, or coming branches falling off that may cause some danger issues, safety issues if they fell. And then replacing those trees with some other different varieties in the different parks. If you notice the KAC, newsletter, One of our parks employees, Chelsea Munster, was with the governor for signing the on Veterans Day.
Yeah,
deal.
the Operation Greenlight proclamation of the state, you know.
So you know, allowed her to go in and spend that time with the governor and represent Riley County for that.
Appreciated that. We know we did that kind of on short notice.
And she was more than willing and
Good.
to participate. With that, we've talked about in the past, I guess. Jerry gave me an idea. Kind of short notice for doing it this year, but if we can go out and get some of these LED type lamps that you see anymore and put them around the clock faces, not inside, but just inside the framework. Maybe we can turn the others off or make the faces turn green.
Okay, I know that with the lights that they have currently, they had an abundance of them this year, and if we. I could put together some money to buy them personally if we need to. I don't keep them out of budget. They're not that expensive.
They're not, I think what we were looking at wasn't that expensive, that we, the building fund take care of some of that.
Okay.
I think some of the other lights with the light bulbs, it's not an easy task to get up
To
and
attach them.
vestibule and put them
Yeah.
up there, and in other buildings, it's not.
Can you
Really
look into that and give us?
Yeah.
Some logistics and some price on that, and.
You know, I
I'll
don't think, he didn't
I'll
think it
coordinate
seemed
with
like
the-
take very much to stick them around the frame in there and we'll see what it looks like.
I know several other counties have kind of done something similar, and I'll get the names of those counties if you want to. Look and see what they did.
Okay.
Okay, I can do that. Okay.
It may be a good time.
I'll
If
talk to the
some of
military
those
relations
cakes.
committee and coordinate those efforts when the time comes next year. Okay, sounds good.
Operation. We got some quotes to take down some trees or trim back some trees on Lowman Bottoms and Rosencutter. There's some old cottonwoods down there that aren't looking very good, and we're afraid if, you know, one good wind and snow will come up there, if it landed across the road, we have a little issue getting that road opened back up. But I think we're looking at getting some of those removed. We got our breed of the FCRC that kind of likes to drip sap and stuff. I can't imagine why they don't like it on their cars, but we're gonna get those scheduled to take down here soon. The guys were all prepping, spent some time the last few months getting ready for winter, mixing the salt and sand in the shed a little bit and getting the equipment all prepped up and ready to go for snow when it happened. We were worried about this week. Hopefully that stays away still or a little bit longer, but you know, it's that time of year. We had ordered and did 5 precast boxes this year, which is probably the most the crew's ever done. They're all complete as of Friday. The last one on Wildcraft was opened up to traffic. There's still a little bit more work to do, but traffic was available, our ability for traffic to go through there today and this week. Since the rains have been here, we've been out grading roads a little bit more, trimming trees and right away. As the cooler weathers come, we're gonna spend more time doing traffic or crack filling. This is better done in cooler temperatures below 70. I like it a little bit colder, but Alvin likes a little bit more comfortable. But it's a good time of year to start doing that. The crews now are back to 5 8-hour shifts now for the winter. With the plans of probably going back and asking to go back in the spring to 4 10s. So you allowed Eric, one of our employees, to go to the National Snow Rodeo competition after winning here. He competed in 3 events, took 20th out of, I got the list, maybe about 100. Maybe around 100, 120, depending on which event it was in. The 20th in the loader event, 4th in the skid steer, and then 16th overall in the motor grader thing. So pretty good showing.
Yeah.
Not too bad. And then he also got to go through some conference sessions and learn a little bit too. So he appreciates that. I think he looks forward to that. And he does pretty well.
Yeah.
Represents Riley County pretty well there.
He spoke to me on Employee Day about how much he appreciated the board letting him do that. Talked to him about that.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, that's been a couple of months now, but since I haven't been here, here it is. The bridge crews, we had a tree come down in around Terra Heights Benefit District and broke our force main into the lagoon. That's been fixed, repaired and cleaned up, but now, bridge crews helped do some of that for us, with us, so. We appreciate their help. That's not something they like doing, but we appreciate their help. Miscellaneous open positions, still have the purchasing agent. I do have a facility tech still open. I got excited and took them off. And forgot to leave that one on. We had a decent.
Guess you don't get it now.
It'll be a decent interview Friday. And we have another one tomorrow. So hopefully we find it. This has been really difficult to find any candidates that are meeting qualifications or requirements. We've got quite a few, but none of them are. If they're not familiar with HVAC, plumbing, or electricity, they're right out of the convenience store cash register. You know, they're not quite the candidate we're looking for. But we got that. And I also just opened up Friday. We have resignation of one of the grounds and facility techs for the Parks Department, and that'll come to you Thursday. We've done the cultural study. It's been completed. We're waiting for the report at University Park. Design, he's still trying to locate where he wants to put the lift station and the force main from the treatment plant up the hill to the lagoons, and so we're working on there, getting that. Hopefully we can get that a bit out here before long too. David gave you a little bit of update on the EMS headquarters. So I won't spend so much time there. We will get back together with the architect and VHS for the emergency management remodel, now that we're all on the same page with the budget. We held the auction, countywide surplus auction on October 16th. We're gonna have some more, I want to have some more discussion with budget and planning committee and the counselor's office on what we can do different. This is not, well, I know it's not intended to make money, but we shouldn't be losing much money either doing this. So we need to talk about some workarounds and some things we can do differently. Since the 4th floor remodel has been completed, we've planted some grass where the stores of stuff alongside the building, and we replaced the concrete here between the two buildings where we had that big hole. The crews have been in there and they went in and.
That was us.
We didn't create the hole, we made it worse. We didn't help it, so we went in and replaced the concrete in the alley between the two buildings.
I was a little worried about that. That was creating a danger.
Yeah. So it's fixed now. When it dries up a little bit more, we can replace the crosswalk between the two buildings and we'll put stripes back down where they were at the parking in their spots. But the concrete work did get finished.
Kansas Gas is done doing whatever they're doing back
I
there.
believe they're done in our section of the alleys.
Okay.
On the crosswalk, you're not just gonna paint it, are you?
That's what we were going to do, yes.
That's what it was originally done, as you can tell. And the reason the other stuff got put on is that paint, when it's wet, it's slicker than snot. And so that's why Leon, after he painted it, put that on there. When you're walking through there and it's wet, you'll go down.
Okay, we'll paint it first. Be careful this winter, and then when it's spring, when it gets warmer, we can put that plastic down.
Let's then not paint it.
Yeah,
at all
then
for
not
the winter and
paint
wait
it.
till
I'm
spring.
serious, John. That thing is a hazard.
Yeah.
Okay, that's easy too.
Okay.
And on paint, you know, they redid our road this year, which is great out in our area. But I was gonna ask you if the contractor that you contracted with for the striping used washable paint, because it's amazing how bad those stripes are already.
They don't use, it's waterproof. It's not water-based paint before.
That's
It's not the
weird.
best you're gonna
It
get.
did not last long. I mean, it hasn't even been, what, 3 months, and it's amazing how light they are.
Wash away.
Did you
Just
guys
a-
use the same stuff out there in Eureka and Wildcat Creek? Yeah, it's.
Same
Yeah.
contractor we've been
It's,
using for years. And there's-
I'm
Well, their
noticing-
product is not
Yeah.
good for having to pay for it.
Get a lot of traffic out on those two roads, so it won't be long before you'll probably be running into the same problem.
Well, that's part of why we come back every year and restrict. And fresh asphalt is a little more difficult to stay on, but no excuse, but yeah. You might see them, I'll see them this week maybe, or next week at KC. We'll have that conversation and we'll.
I was just surprised for it being just a few months old, how
Yeah.
bad the paint is already on the roads. Because in this kind of weather at night, especially, is when you're really need those lines and it's wet. And
Jake has been really good about working on, helping me work on the elevator bids. RFPs, he's waiting on me to review them. And to get back so we can get the elevators out to bid here soon too. So the corridor study you've all agreed to and have agreed to put some money into it. The KDOT, since it's already been a corridor project, has come back with a letter. They're gonna revisit the corridor again, and they decided to have their meeting on December 3rd from 2 to 3 at the city joint maintenance facility.
And I'm hearing that the funding mechanism may change a little bit in that equation too.
I haven't heard directly from anybody,
I've heard from Jared.
but they were trying to talk. Maybe we could extend it a
Yeah.
little bit further on each end, maybe and to Riley and to St. Mary's or something. So we'll see. I will skip the first day of KAC to go to this meeting and be there that evening. That's the first day. That's the Tuesday of KAC. But I will make sure I'm at this meeting.
Yeah,
To
please.
see what's going on and what that is.
Okay.
I don't know if,
And can you get back to us with an update on that?
Yep.
Since we did kind of prove something anyway for that.
and then the next one on there, KHC, the 3rd through the 5th. Today was our first day with Lori Muir at the office to be trained up to take Julie's place coming December 20th. Appreciate that.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about that. That's my idea.
I think that's all I had. I can't. That was all on my list I had to talk about. If you have any questions? No. Nope, good, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Okay, well, that was it for today's agenda. Was gonna say, don't get used to these short days.
Yeah, the next two are all there.
Yeah, yeah. Remember Good Morning Manhattan Thursday morning? And we have county official luncheon in the afternoon. And the city county school district meeting.
Let me put that down. I don't know if I don't have the county officials luncheon. That's Thursday.
12 to 1.
Okay, I had it on there, but I crossed it out for some reason.
On that, now I don't remember, maybe you guys do. Were we getting lunch or what were we doing?
We're doing McAllister's.
McAllister's? Okay, that's already been
Yeah.
taken care of. Okay, just wanted to be sure. I didn't remember.
What's that?
Cindy's already sent.
Yeah, she already sent me something on that and I said, we'll just do that. It's easy.
And then the city county meeting discussing the
Yeah.
Or HID.
Housing, yeah.
housing.
It'll be a lively topic probably tomorrow at the chamber meeting too.
I did confirm with the superintendent at USD 378, they have not been contacted by this City of Manhattan or the developer.
Really?
So she was going to study up on it the
Yeah.
day that I sent her the email, so.
That video was something else. Watching that.
Yeah.
Have you seen that yet? They have to. Yeah, it's pretty enlightening.
It'll be an interesting discussion. I don't have anything else today. Besides the law board meeting, of course.
Well, yeah, you're gonna have to
That's it.
run.
No, I've got a few minutes. It's at City Hall. We're all right.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the November 18th meeting, Board of County Commissioners.
I would second that.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn the November 18th meeting of the Riley County Commission. All in favor?
Aye.